Hello there, David Risley here with the Blog Marketing Academy at blogmarketingacademy.com. Today with a new episode of Coffee Break Blogging. Today we're going to get started with the new format and we're going to start a list building challenge. Now, if you're a subscriber to the daily at blogmarketingacademy.com/daily, then with episode number 200, we started off this list building challenge. The idea is simple. I wanted to show some ways of taking definitive, concrete action to speed up building our email list. I didn't want to make it all theoretical. I wanted to make it so that it was something that you can sit down and do in perhaps an hour or two, but actually make a positive impact in how fast your email list grows. All of us need to grow our email list. It's one of the biggest and most important assets that we have. Way more important than social media followings and all that stuff. The email list is where it's at. And so we went ahead and started off with episode 200, this list building challenge. So what we're going to do today is we're going to step right into the first one that we covered in issue number 201. Subscribe to our newsletter. Okay, that's something that you see in a lot of people's blogs. Subscribe to our newsletter, subscribe to our free weekly newsletter, something to that effect. Is quite possibly the dumbest call to action to ever litter the internet. It might have worked back in the 90s when You've Got Mail was actually a thing. Remember those AOL discs? But today, that's just not the case. Now we're all just busting at the seams with email. And so subscribe to our newsletter, download our free ebook. This kind of stuff just doesn't work anymore. Today, we need to give people a really compelling reason to subscribe to our email list. And the reason is an opt-in offer to give them some type of a lead magnet. Now, for most of you, I'm going to imagine that idea of a lead magnet is certainly nothing new. I mean, you've probably heard that terminology many, many times. But my question to you is, do you have only one? Most people do. Most people only have one lead magnet, and it's usually just plopped right into their sidebar, and they basically call it a day. However, the point today I want you to understand is that the more lead magnets that you have, the easier it is to grow your list. Not everybody who comes to your blog is going to be interested in the exact same things. Not all people are going to think the same, and so ideally you want to have a library of lead magnets available. Every time you publish a piece of content on your blog, you pull out the most relevant lead magnet and you attach it to the blog post as a call to action. Now, this could seem like a lot of work to create all these different lead magnets, but there's some good news for you. In my experience, it's usually the shortest, most direct lead magnets that actually convert the best. We're talking things like checklist, resource list, extremely short tutorials on very specific things. These things convert much better than giving them some big 50-page ebook or having some lead magnet that just sounds kind of like a blog post. Everybody has plenty of things to read. We don't need more things to read, guys. We want tools. Okay, tools convert the best. So a checklist, a worksheet, a list of resources, things like that. Okay, so there's a lot of different ideas you can come up with here. One is that you could create a page on your site that has a list of resources or maybe even reviews and put that onto a blog post, okay? And then you send that out. You could take one of your top performing posts and you could turn it into an ebook. There's a service called Beacon that you can go and you can Google this bad boy, but what it does is it actually integrates in with WordPress and you can easily turn a page or a post into a nicely formatted PDF file. And you can make lead magnets all day long by using something like Beacon combined with your WordPress blog. You can also create a checklist or a worksheet to go along with a blog post. Okay, that's usually what I do personally. Now, keep in mind too that PDFs are not the only thing that you can create here. You can also, if you wanted to create your content and put it onto a page of your site because you personally find creating a PDF to be too much work, you could totally do that. You could put your lead magnet right on your website. What you'd probably want to do in that case is hide that page so that it doesn't get indexed by Google and doesn't show up in your navigation or anything like that. And that way, when you send a person to that web page, you know that they're coming from your email list. Okay? Now, all that being said, the concept here is really simple. I want you to create a new lead magnet. I want you to keep it useful but short. I don't want you to spend a lot of time on this, and do not let me catch you creating some big 50-page ebook, okay? It's a waste of your time. There's nothing inherently hard or arduous about creating a lead magnet, and yet it's something that you should be doing regularly. And every one of these lead magnets is going to give you a new opportunity to build your list. It's going to be an asset that you can absolutely use long term, okay? So your action item for today is to create a short list of a few potential lead magnets that you could create for your blog, and then I want you to sit down and create one of them. I'll see you next time here on Coffee Break Blogging.